Always save the best for last, which is also always awesome. I like saving the nice things for last. Classical is hard to watch for you, you know it's the best chess. Yeah, that's why we do reviews, right? So doing reviews is really, really good because, you know, we don't all have time to watch a 6-hour, 7-hour game. That's why we can summarize all the games up in a very, very, very short amount of time. At least I hope so. Today's stream started really late, so I might have to tell Chess Sweep that I'm gonna be a little bit late, but hopefully it'll still be fun. Okay, so e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. Fabi is playing my favorite opening in the world, which is the Spanish. This is really cool. Okay, bishop to a4, knight to f6, castle, bishop e7, rook e1, b5, bishop b3, castle, a4. Okay, so this is not a line that is very commonly seen, but it is still, you know, notable and nothing wrong with it at all. So after b4, a5, d6, d3, bishop e6. Okay, bishop takes e6, f takes e6, c3. I think I already have a feeling where this game is gonna go. So we'll just go over it really fast. I mean, this is all just like theory. Like, it just looks like a normal Spanish. Yeah, I know it looks like this pawn is hanging, but if you take it, for example, with your knight, then there's c4, which is really cool because now the rook has to move and it won't be defending against this knight anymore. If he takes with the rook, well, you can play rook takes a5, knight takes a5. Yeah, and then the pawn in the middle of the board drops. So it's probably a lot more important to preserve a pawn that's in the middle of the board rather than preserving a pawn on the side of the board, right? So you would rather take the pawn that's in the middle of the board. So that's why black can't take on a5. So after b takes c3, b takes c3, e takes d4, c takes d4. We got a nice, awesome center. Queen c8, bishop to a3, knight takes a5, queen c2, c5, e5, d takes e5, d takes c5, knight c6, knight e4. All right, I mean, in these positions, they're actually really dynamic. I'm sure this is a lot of home preparation, but I think Fabi's position is just like quite solid. It's like very, very even, and the eval bar agrees with that. So time usage is also about the same. Alright, knight takes e4, rook takes e4, rook d8, rook au1, bishop f6, h4, h6, rook e3, rook d5, g4, queen e8. I like this move g4 actually. It looks a little bit scary opening up your king, but I guess in these situations it doesn't like particularly matter because black's pieces are all sort of constricted to the queen side, so it's okay to open up your king side a little bit if he actually doesn't have pieces to attack your king, right? Right, guys? Okay, king g2, h5, g5, bishop e7, knight takes e5, b takes c5, bishop takes c5, rook takes c5. Everything's just gonna get traded. I would still say I'm a little bit scared for white's king, but realistically speaking, I trust Fabi's judgment in saying that his king is like totally safe. It looks totally fine, and besides, it's going into an endgame really soon. So once the queens are traded off, there's absolutely no worries about your king. And actually, white is down a pawn currently, but it's gonna go into probably a rook endgame or a rook and knight endgame, in which case both are drawn. And I think black just takes the draw here because otherwise he's running into potentially some issues with this pawn here and also his knight on d4. So Ding Liren actually just accepts the draw, which is totally fine. Okay, that is the game between Ding and Fabi. Okay, let's see how Anish Giri draws today. Yeah, we're always gonna save the best game for last. So we'll take a little bit of a look at how Maxime. Okay, I think we can just look at this from White's point of view. So number 2 in the world knows what he's doing. Yeah, of course. So knight f3, knight c6, d4, c takes, knight f6, knight c6, e5. Knight to b5, d6. I'm just going through the games that don't have a lot of things to talk about quite fast. If there's like something super interesting, obviously I'll talk a little bit more about it, but I just don't think there's like anything super instructive. Knight takes d5, e takes d5. Okay, so you might be wondering like, yo, what are black's pieces doing? But this is actually still theory, so that's totally fine. Welcome, Jose. Welcome to the party. Okay, c4, bishop e7, c5. Okay, we're just going for it. I like the way Maxime plays, honestly. It's just like super hyper aggressive. So it's a good vibe castle. White does have this pawn on d5, and it might look like a really good pass pawn, but there is a very, very solid bishop right in front of it. So there's not much you can really do about this one bishop on d6. Castle knight c7, knight takes d6, queen takes, queen f3, b6, rook d1, bishop b7. Alright, white just wants to hold on to this pawn, right? I don't know how long he's actually going to be able to hold on to it for. So the point of bishop on this diagonal is to obviously stop black's rook from coming here in order to try to take this pawn. And now black has the very obvious plan of just trying to get this pawn at some point. So what do I think about MBL constantly using the same openings? I mean, whatever works for him, honestly. The one advantage about using the same opening a lot is that you are more familiar with that opening than most, you know, other people. So that's the advantage. Obviously, the disadvantage is that your opponent is able to do a lot of preparation against it. That's how I've always seen it, at least. Yeah. Okay, so bishop b3. Knight a6, queen e2, knight c5, queen takes b5. Yeah, exactly, Thorvittles. It works for me. I'm more familiar with a lot of openings than a lot of other people. So, knight takes b3, a takes b3, rook fb8, f3. This pawn is still going to be really strong, but once again, like this queen is just parked right in front of it, so it's really hard for this pawn to push, right? There were no good discover attacks because if bishop takes d5, then we just take with the queen. Hail to Moo, thank you so much for the prime, thank you. Welcome to the pool party, man. Okay, so here there were 3 draws today and 1 win for Nepo. So Nepo is now a full point above everybody else in the pool. So that's pretty cool. Rook c8, queen a3, queen b6 check, bishop f2, queen b5, d6, queen a4. Okay. We're just trying to make progress with this pawn, but like it just looks like this pawn is not going anywhere, which kind of sucks, I guess, for Maxime. But like, I mean, that is just chess, right? Okay, queen comes back to protect the f pawn. He is now 1 point, a full point ahead, I believe. So, wait, what happened to Krejcik? Huh? So? Oh no. He lost internet connection? Okay. Yeah, he has a full point now. Archer, yeah. Okay, stream just crashed. Okay. Rook e1, e4. For everybody who's coming in, we're just currently doing some review on... Yeah, exactly, Ibnis, yeah. We're just doing a review of all the candidates' games, so everything that's game is about that pawn, yeah, quite literally. Like, if you have an advantage in life, you play around that advantage, right? What I mean is, you know, if there's something you're really, really good at, then you should really be focusing quite a lot of your energy on trying to make that thing a lot better, so... yeah. That's why most of White's plans in this one game was to somehow be able to make this d-pawn really, really effective. But, I mean, if he's not able to, then it's just a draw, realistically. So, alright, so e4, f takes e4, rook g4, h3, rook takes e4, rook takes e4, rook takes e4, rook takes e4, bishop takes, queen to e2, and then b4, and queen c6, and it's just a draw. Okay, so the reason this is a draw because white is going to be forever defending this, and additionally, black is going to be forever defending against this pawn push, which is really funny. So the queen is just going to be defending that. Black just has to do that. Nothing's going to happen in this game, so that's why they probably agreed on a draw. Sometimes chess is just like that. Okay, speedrunning candidates review. any percent. Okay, so Wang Hao against Grischuk. Shiema Damien. Wang Hao against Grischuk, e4, e6, d4, d5, knight c3, knight f6. This is actually the line I play in the French myself. So, okay, e5, knight to d7, knight to e2. Okay, so I usually play f4 here. I'm not super familiar with this move, knight c to e2, but it could be pretty interesting, I guess. c5, c3, knight c6, f4, bishop e7, knight to f3, f6. Pay attention to the clock during this game. All right, I'll take a look. I'm actually having tea right now. Shiema. Bishop e3, castle. g3, queen b6, queen d2, c takes d4, knight takes d4. Okay, so I'm always like being a little bit cautious about playing positions like this because it just looks like, what is Grischuk doing with his time, man? What happened? It's move 11. Do you see this? Do you see the clock, guys? Bro, he spent like an hour and 10 minutes thinking about this. That is literally more time than most people think. Like, during an entire day. Like, this man's really just sat there for an hour and 10 minutes thinking if he should play c takes d4. No, is that normal? I mean, for Grischuk, it's fairly normal. So for people who are not familiar with Grischuk, okay? Grischuk is somebody who likes to play in time trouble. Well, I don't know if he likes it, but he just does it, all right? He just really enjoys playing in time trouble. And the thing about c takes d4 is that he could have played any number of other moves and the position would have been more or less okay. I mean, obviously, you know, it's 0-0 plus 0.6, but like still, it's not the worst thing in the world to just play really any move. But, you know, c takes d4 is the best move in this position. And I'm sure that if more grandmasters in this world had like an hour to spend per move, we would reach an even higher level of accuracy. But the point of chess is not that you need to reach like 100% accuracy, right? Because we have constraints and people blunder and all that. So it's always a little bit shocking to see people spend this much time on a certain move. But hey, again, it's Grischuk, so what can you really expect? All right, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight c5. Hey Kevin, how's it going? Let me actually message ChessWeeb. I'm going to just finish up candidates review. Okay. Yeah, we can't all be engines, unfortunately. So yeah. E takes f6, bishop takes f6, knight to b3. He has 5 minutes on move 15. 5 minutes on move 15. This man's really decided. This man's really decided he felt like playing Blitz game. Like, he just woke up today and was like, yeah, today feels like a great day to just play Blitz, you know? So, you know, sometimes you just happen to play a classical tournament where games are, you know, 1 hour, 40 minutes plus 40 seconds per move, 20 seconds per move. And disregarding all of that, you would much rather just play Blitz. Yeah, of course, it's the critical decision when to play c takes d4, but I think Grischuk took it a little bit too far. I'm not sure what exactly warranted an entire, oh my god, warranted an entire hour of thought. So, okay. C takes d4, knight takes d4, knight to c5, e takes f6, bishop takes f6, knight to b3, knight to e4, queen to d3, queen c7, bishop g2, knight d6, bishop f2, knight c4, queen c2, knight e7, castle, e5, f takes. Okay, so, I mean, Grischuk is playing pretty decent moves with 1 minute on his clock. He gets an additional 40 minutes after move 40, but he has 20 moves to make with 1 minute. The good news is he gets plus 20 seconds per move. But still, like, this is a lot, you know? This is a lot. Yeah. Honestly, it's just pretty crazy. Thank you, Red. I really appreciate it. Thank you. A plus 30 seconds? Or is it plus 20 seconds? I'm wait, is it plus 20 or plus? It's plus 20 seconds, I believe. Oh no, it's plus 30. You're right. It's plus 30 seconds. Okay, plus 30 seconds. Thanks, Mr. Petter. Okay, so yeah, I mean, plus 30 seconds is actually fairly a long amount of time. You have exactly 30 seconds. Well, you have pretty much in this situation as Grishchuk, you pretty much have like 30 seconds per move, because realistically, you don't want to be playing on like up to like down to like 0.1 second, you know. So there's this is quite a long game, but yeah, okay. So I mean, after bishop f5, Wang Hao decides to just sacrifice his queen. Now, would you guys ever sacrifice your queen for 2 minor pieces?
Test.
Hello? What's up? Wait, who's testing this? Never? Okay. Yeah, it depends on the position. I agree, yes. Yes, but not on purpose. You sacrifice your queens for much less. You do it for 1. Yeah, I mean, this is very true. This is very true. Honestly, like, I guess it's something else to like, there's a difference between blundering your queen and actually sacrificing it, right? Like, there is a Bota's Gambit, and then there is actual queen sacrifices. So, did he sacrifice because the opponent has 1 minute left? I honestly don't know. I wasn't watching the games live, so I can't confirm. But to be fair, if your opponent is low on time, what is a very logical thing to do? How is this a sacrifice? I mean, Wang Hao decided to, you know, give up a queen for 2 minor pieces. If that's not a sacrifice, I don't know what else to call it. And then we'll just call it sacrificing from now on. Yeah, mess up a position and make him think. Exactly, Foofsha. Exactly. Make the situation more complicated is oftentimes a really good choice when your opponent is on time pressure. And that's why in a lot of bullet games, it's really, really beneficial to actually play super aggressive chess, right? And that's why we do a lot. That's why, I mean, I have the playstyle I do have when I play bullet chess. So 30-second increment is huge, but considering that this is like supposed to be a 6-hour game, I don't think 30 seconds is anything. So it's actually funny because the eval bar doesn't even give like such a huge advantage for black, even though, you know, white has 2 minor pieces for the queen. I think Wang Hao's decision was rather cute. So, no, I'm not saying with this queen sacrifice, Wang only hopes for a timeout. What I'm saying is, he might know.
Nemo, there's a fax message to you. You are awesome.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
There's always a sun after the storm. We all love
Okay,
you.
what is with this ASMR in this message? Why is there so much ASMR in this message? That is so weird. Like, how do you even get? I know what a fax is. A fax is when you type out a message and it gets printed out at whoever receives the message. So I do actually know what a fax is. Yes, so yeah. But yeah, going back to this game, I mean, he didn't sacrifice his queen because he thought that Grishchuk would blunder under 1 minute. Instead, what he did was make sure that the position, he has compensation, really. He does have compensation. The position is really complicated, so he thinks that he has really good winning chances in this position because there's a higher chance for Grishchuk to make a mistake. So that's why this is not a bad idea at all. Knight b6, knight takes d5, knight takes, knight bishop takes, king h8, knight d4, queen to d7, c4, bishop g6, knight to e6. Just keeping up the pressure on the position. No worries, Jin. Okay, bishop f7. Black obviously wants to swap off all the pieces, right? What do you do when you're up material, guys? I mean, I literally just said the answer, so everybody should be getting this correctly. You want to trade down? Hello, Astrono. It is very nice to see you today. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, you want to trade all of the pieces. Wait a minute. Yeah, so you want to more or less trade the pieces and be able to play the end game where you're up material. So it's not a good idea to, you know, keep all of your opponent's potential attacking pieces on.
This is why there's a lot of ASMR here.
Okay, so after knight takes g7, bishop takes d5, rook takes e7, queen takes e7. Oh god. This is like XQC levels. Is there not a limit? Okay. Let's see what happens first. My ability to turn this thing off. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. Anyways. Moving on. Knight f5, queen f8, bishop d4, king to g8, c takes d5. Oh no, trap. Oh no. Okay. C takes d5. Now the eval bar actually says this position is not that bad. So technically still 2 minor pieces and 2 pawns for a queen. I would honestly say I prefer playing black here, but considering how black has been playing the game with 1 minute for like the last couple of moves, yeah, it's a little bit difficult, you know? So, I think that this is one of those kind of positions where, okay, after rook takes d6, this is most likely going to go towards a draw. I would still say black has better chances, objectively speaking, but it doesn't really make sense to play this position much further because it's just, you know, you just move your king back and forth and there's no way for black to really make any progress. So yeah, I mean, this game looked interesting in the middle. I'm not going to go super in depth into it, but the main ideas of it were quite, yeah. The main ideas of it were that, you know, Wang Hao wanted to play this kind of position with an imbalance. And actually, if you're looking for how to play positions with imbalance, because these can actually be really, really helpful in your own games, because not everybody knows how to play with a queen versus 2 minor pieces or something like that, right? You know, this is one of those games where it shows that you don't need the exact same amount of pieces, or you don't need to even have the equivalent amount of pieces in order to play a really, really good game and potentially win. So this game was quite pog. All right, so I think that leaves us with the last game, right? Okay, so here, would you consider exchange of 3 pieces for a queen an equal trade? I would consider it an equal trade, Anurag. Okay, so let's take a look at the last game for candidates for today's round. Nepo did end up winning this game. It ended on move 31 indeed. So Nepo plays c4, knight f6. As a reminder, Nepo is currently leading the tournament with exactly 1 point. So it's a pretty big deal. There are still 4 rounds left, so there's plenty of time for other people to catch up. But you know, it's still a pretty good run for him so far. So g3, e6, bishop to g2, d5, knight to f3, d takes c4, queen a4, queen takes c4, a6, queen to c2, c5, knight to c3. All right, just some opening preparation, casually. Castle. d4, c takes, knight takes. I mean, you would look at this position and just say white's better here, right? Why would you say that white's better here? Hey Arnie. Center. Middle control, yeah. More active pieces, more development. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. Exactly. Because eval bar, yeah. That's true, Damien. Fabi's gonna have a really interesting game against Nepo. Rook d8. So black's bishop, light square bishop, is going to be a little bit difficult to get out. So that's why, you know, white just has all of his pieces developed. And
Hi.
hey Cat Joy, thank you so much for the 2 months. Thank you, merci beaucoup. The rook on a8 is going to be really difficult to bring out, considering the fact that this bishop on c8 it's difficult to bring out. So white just has like a little advantage here. Alright, so e5, knight to f5, bishop takes f5, queen takes, knight c4, bishop g5, rook takes d1, knight takes, rook d8, bishop takes f6, bishop takes, queen, bishop to e4, knight to c3, castle, sorry, not castle, king to f8. I don't know why I said castle there. Knight to d5. Okay, I mean, white has just slowly made it so that his positional advantage gets bigger and bigger, right? Like, every single move that white makes is just threatening something. Like a move, like now he's threatening stuff like b3. It's just really difficult for... It's not even like slowly creating an advantage. Of course, Fuchsia. Yeah, of course. Okay, bishop e4, queen a5, knight to... Oh, Catjoy, I think it's because of the e's. The little e's with the accents on top got your message deleted. We still have that one on, unfortunately. He also has a big time advantage, yeah. Queen takes h7, rook takes d5. Yeah, there's a big time difference again. Like this time difference is just crazy. Like, I think it's really, really awful to play a position in which you're actually just down like a whole exchange. Well, not currently down exchange, but even though black has this pass pawn, his king is really, really, really weak. What was the point of queen to a5? Well, the point of queen to a5 is because basically what's happening is that there's no way for him to get out of this pin. So he has to find ways to move out of it, right? And he can't move out of it while defending his knight. So instead, he plays queen to a5, and the idea is that he wants to play, you know, first of all, if rook takes, then there's rook here. But also there's the threat of queen to e1. So that's why white plays knight to c3 here. Alright, so knight to c3, king to f8, knight to d5, b5. Yeah, I would say b5. Yeah, I mean, this position is really difficult for black to play. Like, white just has so many ideas. Like, knight takes f6 is an idea. Queen takes h7 is obviously an idea. Black's position just falling apart, and you can't play rook takes d5, which might look like it wins an exchange, because after bishop takes d5, queen takes, you have queen c8, and then you win the knight on c4. So, that's not really gonna work for black here. And then after b5, queen takes h7, rook takes d5, bishop takes d5, queen d2. Rook takes c4 is a really good move because, once again, white just has this better like, you know, he's going to, first of all, have a safer king. This king's gonna get chased out in the center, and he also ups so much time. So this is gonna be a really, really, really difficult position for black to manage. Okay, so queen h8, king 7, queen c8. I just trying to checkmate, really. She's gonna checkmate black. That's so sad. Okay, he resigns here because of queen d6, queen a7, queen d7, and you can even play queen takes a6, and this passed pawn is really unstoppable. And that's basically why black resigned. He doesn't want to suffer in this position for a lot longer. But, you know, objectively speaking, I think if it was you guys should keep playing the game. But, you know, since it's between Nepo and Kirill, and Nepo is really strong, Kirill just decides it's better to just resign. So yeah. Pog! What were their accuracies? Let's take a look. 99 to 90.